Tavros, land already. Dead. Oh, Jesus Christ. Kanaya, view Rose. You have already viewed this moment 100 times. It is no less confounding on your 101st. There is nothing otherwise unusual about the scene. A simple girl is understandably preoccupied by her handsome assortment of orbs, while surrounded by her ever-growing band of amphibious and reptilian acolytes. And then, darkness. You have one lead in your investigation, but she hasn't been very helpful so far. Kanaya, contact Future Jade. Are you feeling more cooperative in this time frame? Password. I see no, of course not. Please, I know you were talking to her shortly before. What did you say to her? I said password, fuck ass! Wow. Oops, sorry, I've been having too many password arguments with Karkat, I guess. I still don't understand the password thing. Past you doesn't care about passwords. What happened? Well, it depends. Do you want to have a silly conversation or a serious conversation? Which is favorable? Both are, but a silly conversation mostly doesn't matter or make the timeline more confusing than it needs to be, so we can have one right now if you want. In fact, I would say it is coming dangerously close to being one already, but if it is a serious conversation you want, then I'm afraid I must demand a password. Can we discuss a serious thing in a silly manner? Nope. How am I supposed to know the password? Because I told you. I don't remember that. Exactly. I feel like I am trudging waist deep through a slither basin full of your human surprise noodles. Yummy. I understand this silliness is currently permissible, but are serious questions about the password nonsense permissible as well? I suppose those are acceptable. Why are you demanding passwords from me and also apparently Karkat? To keep the conversation linear, I gave you a password at the end of our previous conversation. You have to give me that password to start over our next one. This ensures that past you can't jump ahead into the conversation and mess everything up like you are trying to do now. I am not trying to do that. I know, but trust me, it's better this way. When will I get the password? I don't know. I have no idea what time you're from, but you will get it. I gave it to you some time ago at the end of our last conversation, and I have been eagerly awaiting your linear and unconfusing reply ever since. Bye, Kanaya. Heart. Whoo-wee. Grim Auxiliatrix began trolling Garden Gnostic. I am appreciating our conversations from this time frame more and more. Past you is much less of a taskmaster than future you, or pre-blackout Rose. Thanks, I think. What do you mean by pre-blackout Rose? I mean post-blackout Rose is a lot less difficult insofar as she is completely unavailable. Okay, but what do you mean by blackout? I guess you'll find out soon, and then report it to me under extremely specific circumstances. Which is good, because I sure don't know. Yes, and that face is a good response. Your eyes are right to be swirled letters. What are you doing? I'm doing what you told me to do. I'm getting Dave to set up that expensive equipment so I can start doing all that Witch of Spacey stuff you were telling me about. Which I appreciate, since my sprite turned out to be sad and useless and not very wise at all. I see. Well, I didn't actually tell you to, I was just being informative. Also, it isn't technically Witch of Spacey stuff. I was a sylph, not a witch. Oh, what's a sylph? I think it's sort of like a witch, but more magical? A magical witch. Yes, I'm completely certain of that suddenly. That's awesome. Unfortunately, Kanaya is incorrect. That is not necessarily what a sylph is. Sylph is something specific. Although, it makes sense that she wouldn't know that. But regardless, I think our roles are approximately the same since we are both stokers of the forge, as well as holders of breeding duties. However, I should clarify that my earlier counsel was mostly academic. It takes weeks to do all of this properly. You simply won't have time. Breeding duties? Yes. Please tell me that doesn't involve what it sounds like. What does it sound like? It sounds like it involves a lot of breeding. Well, it does, but not breeding through means typical of most species. Oh, does the equipment we are deploying have anything to do with it? It has a lot to do with it. It is cloning equipment, much like what is scattered all over the Vale, the same kind responsible for creating all of us. Okay then, that's pretty neat. I didn't mean to alarm you by implying that you were required to wage a great deal of personal procreation over a span of several weeks. Yeah, whew. Though it should be clear that repopulation is among our duties as well in the long term, and I've gathered that the cloning apparatus in the Vale is probably meant to permit an initial boost on the world we select for settlement, but beyond that, it is up to the descendants to perpetuate the race. And your species has quite an advantage in this respect. How so? Your procreation may be carried out by paired individuals autonomously, whereas ours may not, which is what makes my role particularly important. What's your role? I am the keeper of the matriorb. It is an egg that will hatch a new mother grub. She alone will be responsible for bearing our young. Whoa, so cool! So are you like bugs? Like bees or ants or something, but with horns? I guess so. And you are like erect livestock without the muscle definition. Or the hermaphroditic physiology for that matter. But milk producers nonetheless. That rare kind of organism to nurture hatchless young within you. Within, are you not? Yes. Anyway, I had imagined I would hatch the new grub on a planet in your universe, and when that became impossible, I quickly lost hope. I assumed it would remain locked in its card forever, which could only be opened when the orb was meant to be used, but then I found something quite unexpected when I was exploring this lab. I found a key. It was deep in the meteor, and as I suspected, it released the orb, which was really confusing to me for a while, until I realized what it meant, which is so obvious I'm amazed I didn't think of it right away. What does it mean? It means I'm supposed to use it now, to hatch the grub in the heart of this meteor. You think so? Sure. There is no reason a meteor couldn't act as the center of our race's resurrection. They are themselves like large seeds, after all. The only question is whether we can manage to keep it from being destroyed, as well as whether I am able to raise a mother grub to maturity. Oh wow, that thought is actually pretty overwhelming. Well, I think you can do it. You do? Yes. Didn't you say your Lucis was a grub? Yes, she was in fact a mother grub, who relinquished her calling as matriarch to raise me. Well, that's perfect. If you were raised by a mother grub, then you're in a great position to raise one yourself. It is like a sort of family legacy. A really cool alien family legacy. Okay. Thanks for saying so. Don't mention it. So how does this cloning stuff work? It's very involved. Like I said, you won't have time. In fact, it probably should have taken considerably longer than it took me. I was a little rushed. Well, I want to try anyway. If you can hold out hope for rebuilding your race in the center of a meteor, then I think I can at least try to have a little cloning done with the time I have left. Yes, you're right. I can't imagine how you can complete the objective in the time given, but weirder things have happened, I think. First, deploy the pad. Yes, Dave is doing that at the top of this ridiculous tower. Why all the way up there? Didn't you say it needed to be in a warm place? Yes, that's correct. My house is freezing now. It ran on geothermal power before, and I guess there's no heat anywhere inside this planet. That will probably change if you light the forge, but one thing at a time, I guess. Yes, I would like to hear about that later, but yeah, the weather here seems fine out here in the medium. Let's see how Dave is doing. Dave, deploy cloning apparatus. Boof. Jade, examine. It's so small. That's the appropriate size for the equipment. But clone babies can barely fit on that thing. Babies? What? I mean, young humans. You know, what we milk producers nurture hatchless within? Yes, I mean, I didn't mean to suggest your breeding duties involved cloning humans. Repopulation is not what's happening here. It's not your objective as the Witch of Space. Not yet, anyway. Then what is the objective? What am I breeding? Frogs. Sorry, I thought that was obvious. I can't get over how tiny this thing is. It's so cute. So the baby frogs show up on this pad here? Yes. Well, I can't wait to try it. What are you laughing at there? Oh, well, Dave just has a lot of funny stuff to say about all this. What is he saying? Oh, you know, a bunch of silly stuff. There's too much to copy-paste. Here, I'll save it all in a file and send it to you. Dave is a funny guy, .txt. Okay, I am laughing pretty hard at all that. Alright, how do I get started? He will need to deploy the terminal. Then you can start hunting for frogs to purify from around your world. Dave, deploy terminal. Okay, here's a frog on the screen. Oh no, it's trapped in ice. I would conjecture that most of them are, and will stay that way until the forge is brought to life. I think the event is designed to trigger drastic planetary upheaval wherever the forge is stationed. It did on my planet as well. Was your planet covered in ice too? No, it was mostly water. Cool. Anyway, I'll try to rescue this frog, so I push this button to purify it? Yes. It probably won't do any good, but you can try. Okay. Jade, a purify frog. Oh god! It's still froxical! This will not do. The problem isn't that the frog is still frozen. The problem is that you are able to purify it at all. Ectobiology is based entirely on your inability to purify a subject. I don't understand, but I am intrigued. If that frog were destined to do something else, such as become ensnared in your net later, you would not be able to purify it because that would cause a paradox. So instead, you would purify its slime imprint. The paradox slime is what is important here. You can mix it with the slime from other paradoxically purified frog imprints. Study the genes and selectively combine and then create resulting paradox clones. Okay, that makes sense I think. How can I purify some frog slime? You will need to direct the terminal to another frog, and then you must be sure to later to interfere with that frog in some way. For instance, by planning to venture out to capture that exact frog as I suggested earlier. That way, it will be impossible to purify the frog before your interference has taken place. Only its slime will arrive. So it's like a sort of backwards frog breeding, clone first, catch later. Yes. Jade, search for a new frog. Okay, I will try this. Look at this handsome guy here, hiding in the woods and being sneaky. He looks frozen solid too. So if I go bother him later, that means if I try to take him now, I will only get slime, right? Yes, that should work. Make a note of the coordinates. When you travel to interact with your cloned subjects, you are also taking the opportunity to explore and discover new habitats, as well as new species of frogs for your terminal to track. It's efficient to go adventuring in this fashion while you're waiting for your young clones to mature. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yes, it is a lot of fun. It is also extremely time-consuming. Unlike some purifiers in the Veil, this one is locked to the present moment. You cannot use it as a window into the future or past, and isolate frogs whose futures are certain and therefore most paradoxifiable. Means of expedition are limited. I suppose you could use time travel to accelerate the process, but you would need to establish weeks' worth of stable time loops. I think it would be an overly elaborate and dangerous undertaking personally, and anyone who would attempt such a thing is reckless. I would not advise it. Okay, hang on while I clone this fella. Jade, clone frog. Slime. Hey! Yay! You'll need somewhere to keep them while they grow, like a pool or a tank or something, or such, or at least something temporary. Water wasn't very hard for me to come by, but for you, I don't know. I will think of something. I won't let the poor little guy suffocate. Jade, give him a home. Bloop. So I suppose to wait for him to grow up and then breed him with other frog paradox clones. Yes, but this isn't all there is to the cloning process. A true paradox clone is an exact genetic duplicate of the subject. Later, that clone will be sent back in time to become itself. In fact, if it is an exact duplicate, then it is guaranteed to happen. This is what classifies it as a paradox clone. Any duplicate which genetically deviates from the original is not. It is simply a mutant. And for breeding purposes, mutation is quite desirable, within reason. You may adjust the settings on the equipment to promote genetic anomalies, but it's very delicate, and you can go too far. Responsibly guiding the evolution of the genetic code during the breeding process is very important. In fact, it is the most important thing about this of all. It is? Yes. Huh. So what's the actual purpose of all this breeding? Am I trying to make one really special frog with just the right gene code or something? Sort of like the ultimate frog? Actually, yes. That's exactly what you're doing. Oh, your objective is to breed the Genesis frog. Why? You can't complete the game without doing so. Your entire mission depends on breeding him. Him? So he's a boy frog? Yes, he will begin as a tadpole like you have there, but considerably larger, and he will mature to become the Speaker, a deity-like figure idolized by the consorts who wait for him to come. The Speaker? He's known as the Speaker of the Vast Croak. Croak. Yes, the Croak really is quite vast, and is something to behold. It's the most amazing thing I have ever seen. Then the Speaker is like a god, but there are a lot of them, like one for each session, kind of like the kings and queens. Yes, there will be one for every session should the players be successful, and each one is a unique product of their quest. The kingdoms are at odds over his creation. Prospect worships him as much as the consorts do. Durst reviles him and outlaws frogs wherever they can, even the iconography. Their agents mock his name with slurs, like Speaker of the Vast Joke, or Bilious Slick. Although, to be honest, that is what we ended up calling him. Not to be disrespectful, though. It was just a catchier name. It is pretty catchy. If I call him that, I'll probably be sure to say I mean no offense. I doubt it's even possible to offend him. Well, that's good. Okay, then what? What do we do after I make this big god frog? Does it have something to do with the new universe we create? Most certainly. You said he was a Genesis frog. Does that mean we bring him into the universe and he makes new planets or life or such? No, you're not really understanding the magnitude of his role. He is not responsible for just one aspect of the universe you create. He is responsible for all of them. Bilious Slick is your universe. Really? I don't mean he's the universe you are from. We engineered that incarnation. He is the universe you are trying to create. Yes, I got that. Sorry, I thought it was obvious, but then wasn't sure. You mean he's literally a whole universe? Yes, literally. That statement was as literal as you can possibly make words be. I know your species is frequently insincere for a variety of reasons. Your species is too, especially Karkat. He's incredibly sarcastic. That's true, but when we do it, it's usually just because we are trying to be jerks, rather than by way of a mild-mannered, perpetually dispatching little puzzles of rhetoric without apparent purpose. But I don't do that. I try to say what I mean and do as much as I can. Yeah, I think I've been discerning that. It's a nice change of pace. From what? It's not important. You mean from Rose? Well, not that it wasn't an enjoyable exercise in xenocultural inculcation. Yeah, Rose and Dave are like that all the time. They inculcate that stuff like crazy. So you've been talking to her a lot, I guess. Sort of. Are you best friends now? I guess as mutually friendly as the time has permitted two people to be. I won't be speaking to her anymore, though. Why? Oh, yeah, because you said she blacks out, whatever the heck that means. It just means in a few moments from your perspective, I won't be able to see her through my viewport or talk to her. I don't know why exactly, but it's not that hard to guess. She has been relying on the powers and counsel of dark gods and other sources of ambiguous intent, and she has consequently devised a plan which sounds very dangerous to me. Yeah, I didn't like the sound of her plan either. You are more sensible. It's probably the influence Skaya has made on you, having spent much of your life awake on Prospect like me. You did? If we're alike in some ways, maybe it's because of this. Yeah. I woke up a long time ago. I had trouble sleeping when I was young. The sunlight was unnaturally invigorating to me, I guess. My Lucis could do nothing to help. And when I was supposed to be in my cocoon, I would often wander out into the desert, where one day I was visited by a stranger who dresses and speaks in white. He put me to sleep, and I awoke on Prospect, where I have dreamed ever since. He said he was my guardian, and though he visited rarely, I did regard him as that. Then later he stopped coming. In time, I began to believe he was a figment of my imagination, like an imaginary friend to give me reassurance when I need it. But then, while playing our game, I learned he was real. He had spoken to others from our party, and had been manipulating us all to advance his schemes. It was saddening to learn my fortuitous awakening had been the product of a nefarious ploy. You're lucky that your awakening probably had no such entanglements. Well! Also, it makes sense that Kanaya would suggest that Tavros develop an imaginary friend because she had one. Geez, I hope not. But I guess it's only a minor contamination of something otherwise great. I was allowed to see what Skaya would show me, and to prepare for dangers ahead and try to protect people. Me too! Wow, Kanaya, I did not realize we had so much in common. You're right. We do. I feel a bit silly that it took me so long to engage with the one corresponding closely with my role. It must be a certain madness I'm afflicted by, to orbit those more reckless and dangerous than I, and more daring for it. I guess I want to help them, but they can never be helped, it seems. Well, it sounds like helping people is something that's in your nature. I can understand that. Are you saying Rose is reckless and dangerous? Yes, definitely. We have our share of dangerous players who seem to do nothing but cause problems. I believe she is yours. And if her insane plan wasn't alarming enough, she has been communicating with the stranger I mentioned, and unsurprisingly, she has not been forthright about the nature of their conversations. You mean your guardian? Yes, and he's not merely a guardian. I am very sure now that he is a first guardian, like your Lucis was. Uh-oh. I'm not sure why, but the sound of that makes me really nervous. I feel the same way about it. The involvement of any such entity strikes me as quite inauspicious, even when seemingly benign. She didn't mention anything about this when we talked, but then she seemed preoccupied. She was. You'll have one chance to determine more soon, after which, hopefully, you can tell me. Yeah, I will. In the meantime, I will go. I would like to return to the core to situate this orb. It seems that you have your own orb to care for now. Oh yeah, I guess I do. Okay, you can go do that, and I guess I will check on Rose, but there's still so much I want to know. I want to know more about stoking the forge and breeding the frogs and about your time on Prospect and all that. Okay, I will definitely help you as much as I can. The young Prospect Wakers ought to stick together. Yes, I'll message you again in your future, and you may reply if you have cause to. If I have cause to? Oh, that reminds me. I was thinking of implementing a system to keep some of these confusing conversations simple and linear. Does it by chance have anything to do with passwords? Yeah, I guess someone told you. Yes, you. You delivered news of the system by demanding a password from me. Ugh, you see? You nearly just gave me the idea for the plan in the first place, paradoxically from my own future self. I just find that kind of thing annoying for some reason. It doesn't feel right. I would rather ideas come from the place they actually came from. That's a reasonable attitude, I think. Okay, let's put the system in play starting now. I will give you a password, and then you will give it to me in the future when you want to pick up this conversation again. Okay, the password is... Croak? It must be in all caps and must contain precisely 10 O's. 10? I'm counting 11. Whoops! 11 then. The password system is already paying overwhelming dividends of ease and rationality. Kanaya, that sounded a wee bit... sarcastic. Oh, wow, yeah. I hope I'm not falling prey to a crisis of sincerity. You're just becoming multicultural, that's all. I think I'm learning to become more multicultural through Karkat as well. It mostly involves saying fuck a lot. Oh no. It's okay, he's really not so bad. Yes, I know. Okay, go hatch that orb. I will be waiting. Yes, I'll do that. Bye, Jade. Later. Kanaya returned to the core. So Terezi slaps Karkat. Eridan's computer has exploded. And the lab is messier than ever. One blip on the speaker, please. Examine robo-debris. The final Iradiabot exploded about an hour ago. She's dead for good now, you guess. Or is she? Yeah, she is. You're completely certain of it. Don't seem to be able to use any of these. Examine Tinkerbell plush. Dear Tinkerbell, sweet, sweet, precious Tinkerbell. Tavros loved this memorial plush sewn for him so much. Seeing it here on the floor would be especially poignant if he were dead, but you know for a fact that he's alive and well, so it's all good. I don't want to take the matriarch just yet. Examine Host plush. You really hope he stops playing games for girls soon. For good. One way or another. Examine Broken Bow. You have seen many sad things on your adventure, but watching Icarius practice archery may be the saddest thing of all. Examine Fago. Gamzee left perfectly good lukewarm bottles of wicked elixir lying around. There's something so wrong about this. You think about taking a robust swig, but then you come to your senses and don't. Examine Teapot. Nepeta has left her steeping pot of flavorful chamomile untouched. She is gone too. Another perplexing mystery. Examine Unireal Air. It's sad seeing Unireal Air lying here without Gamzee around to neglect it while people trip over it. It's almost a little poignant, like seeing a toppled tricycle in the yard of a missing child. Oops, you mean a toppled three-wheel device in the lawn ring of a cold wriggler. Doesn't get much more tragic than that. Examine Dragon Suit. Terezi's ridiculous cosplay getup. You feel kind of bad for mocking her for it. Just one of many exhibits of boorish behavior you should probably apologize for. That is, if you're presently Karkat while examining this item. If you aren't, those thoughts are not relevant to you. You decided not to program contingencies for examining this item with different characters, because that would have been a waste of time. Examine used host plush. This one has been decapitated for some reason. Weird and gross. Examine drawing tablet. What have we here? Looks like there's a half-finished comic on this thing. Some kind of cool kid and a girl with red glasses. What are they doing here together? Yeah, maybe you shouldn't snoop into her cool kid fanfic. It's probably private. I can talk about Terezi, tell Karkat you're going, be Karkat. And we can talk to Feferi and Solix. Relaxing in the horn pile, I see. Yes, why don't you hop in too, Kanaya? There's plenty of space, Solix. There's plenty of space. Solix and I are glubbing about feelings. That sounds nice. But it really doesn't look like there is much room in the pile of horns at all, and I should get going anyway. Yeah, of course there's no room. It's kind of a moronic invitation, to be honest. Hey, shut your mopey blowhole! I was just showing a little basic courtesy. Really, you're just like grouchiest dude sometimes. And it's really cute. Also, let's get real. This horn pile isn't comfortable at all. I got hard metal edges jabbing me everywhere, and it's lumpy as hell. You can't move a fucking inch without honking the shit out of it and making everyone in the room look at you. What idiot thought this was the ideal way to chill out? Oh, that's right, a brain-dead clown who eats toxic slime. You probably like it because it's like a coral reef or some horrible jagged underwater pile of shit like that. Grouchy mother glubber. Okay, I will leave you be. Kanaya, I see that look on your face. You're curious, but you're nervous about meddling. Am I right? FF, come on, we're having a private conversation here. It's okay, really. We were sharing some feelings about stuff. Solix was feeling bummed out because Aradia blew up, and she was his very close friend. Holy shit, yes, let's talk about all my problems openly. I love that. Hey, KK, check this out. My emotions are serving as entertainment again. Yeah! Hey, Car Crab, get the nubs over here. Plenty of room in the pile. OMG, that was such an obscene gesture he just made. Anyway, yeah. Now that AA's gone forever, I feel more depressed and useless than usual. I was already pretty goddamn useless to begin with. Let's face it. But I have it on good authority that she is just fine. Everything is going to go swimmingly. You'll see. You're so ridiculously optimistic, it's kind of sickening. Why do you even put up with me? If you weren't so great, I'd think you were a fucking idiot for liking me. So, I guess thanks for liking me. Wait, that sounded so pathetic. Oh god, I should probably take that back. Kanaya, what the fuck are you still doing here? God damn it! Can't a guy get a little glubbing privacy with a fish girl and a pile of horns? You can't leave without telling your leader where you're going first. That'd be irresponsible. Also, you forgot to take the matriarch with you. You're clearly going to need that. Talk about Terezi. What was that about? I don't know. I guess I fucked up again. I can't seem to do anything right in her eyes anymore. I mean, nose. I really liked the old model of Karkat. I liked a lot of the old models. I think some of the new ones are better. Like, new Solix is superior to old Solix, but new Karkat is just softer. I mean, nose. Maybe you should go say something to her. Well, I would, but she's probably burrowed fuck deep in this lab by now. I'm sure she's busy scooting up and down stairs and shooshing through pointless corridors and opening chests containing like 3 boondollars and hideous paintings of enormous naked barnyard monsters. What's with all the chests anyway? Why do we keep squirreling our useless shit away in them? I really should have written a memo about this, like the rules of chest etiquette. Squirreling. Squirrel is the human word for nut creature. Oh. Well, I think the chests are fun. They make for nice surprises. Whatever. Anyway, I can't leave. If you haven't noticed, the team has been falling apart here ever since Aradia exploded for no reason, and therefore presumably died forever. Seriously, where the hell is everyone? Where's Gamzee? Shit isn't right. I've got to stay put here and keep it together. Okay then. If I see her along my way, I'll let her know you want to talk. If you don't think that's too meddlesome of me. No, that's fine. Thanks. Wait. You're going somewhere? Tell Karkat where you're going. I'm returning to the core to deposit the matriorb. Wish me luck. Whoa, what the fuck? I mean, that's great, if that's what you want to do with it. But you can't go. I need you here. Look around. Shit's mayhem. I'll only be gone for a few minutes. Anyway, you're doing a good job, and I think you can manage to cope with my momentary absence. Okay, fine. In that case, good luck. I hope it works. Thanks. Be Karkat. I cannot use the transportalizer at all as Karkat, because I am not trying to leave. I can't use the matriarch because it's not mine. I can't read this text because I don't care. I'm Karkat. Hooray. Examine Scalemate. Why, Duke Pinesnort, it seems your lovely green complexion has turned to blue as each past treachery has tightened the noose a little more. Worry not. It will all be over soon as you're stuffed in your sarcophagus and given a funeral fit not for a nobleman but a lowly beggar. Let that be a lesson to your family, who is also executed in the name of justice. It sounds like you've been talking to the Jade Human like you said you would. Yeah. I just used the phrase the Jade Human satirically for no reason. It is just one of many ways in which I am becoming more multicultural. Nice one. I'm laughing up a fucking storm. Have you found her password system to be practical? Don't even get me started on the password bullshit. So, okay, future Jade gives me some really mysterious thing to tell past Jade to make sure she does something she needs to do without explicitly giving herself the idea from the future. Which is dumb, but okay, I go along with it, so she doesn't completely flip the fuck out at me. And then I get back to her in the future to say I did it. And what am I greeted with? Password. Password, password, password. You nubby grumpy sack of ugly fuck. I want a password right now, or I will direct my cold laser hate stare through your bulge from my goofy-ass goggly girl glasses for lame shitty sissies. Okay, I'm paraphrasing here. So, I gave her the password, and she's like, wrong! I haven't given you that password yet. Or you already gave me that password, or it's too early for it, or whatever. Find the right future me to give the password to. So I'm like, fuck! I respectfully submit this as new levels of stupidity and pointlessness that only morons would enjoy while earnestly investigating their own genitals. But that's just my opinion. And then we spend way more time arguing about password shit than doing anything constructive. It sounds like you like her. What? Where are you getting that? Well, she is giving you a reason to be frustrated and loud. What more could you ask for in a friend? She's quite considerate, actually. Okay, yes. I'll say she's a lot more decent than I gave her credit for originally. And somewhere in this mess, I guess a coherent plan is starting to emerge. I still can't determine exactly what it is because she's always so vague, but whatever. At least she actually seems to care about helping us with our problem, which is more than I thought a human would do. And way more than I can say for a lot of the lousy self-absorbed fucks around here. Do you think Terezi is aware of your interactions with her? I don't know, probably. I don't want to sound too meddlesome, because I know people don't like that much. But didn't you and she used to have a thing like that? Man, why does everyone think we had a thing? Well, didn't you? The thing which may or may not have existed, notwithstanding, what right would she have to be upset with me about talking to Jade? Maybe she thinks you're trying to make her jealous. Oh, like she's not doing the same thing to me by talking to that pompous tool who's idiotically insecure about the color of his eyes, while hypocritically typing with his candy red text to drive the girls wild? What a fucking show-off! You just know she's doing it to annoy me. She's probably even putting on a little show for me, crying over his corpse like she really gives a shit. Do you actually believe she was pretending? Yeah, sure, I don't know. Maybe you should try not to be so quick to dismiss the sincerity of people's emotions. Yeah, I guess you're right. Wow, I was being pretty dumb just now. What a fucking idiot. past me is always so terrible, even when I literally just finished being him. I wasn't actually crying just now. I was exaggerating my reaction for effect. Okay, you're going way too far with this multicultural shit. You need to take it down a peg. Talk to Feferi and Solix. Crab snack! Hey. You're just in time! We're talking about serious feelings here. Solix has been feeling... Don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Thank you. KK, you're a true friend. Oh, fine. So what reels you over to the old horn pile? Have any of you seen Gamzee? It's not like him to stray far from the horn pile. Getting kind of worried. You are? Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah. Ugh. Just where is he? I don't know, man. I've heard nary a honk out of him for a while. Maybe something frightened him off into the lab. Why don't you go looking for him? We could help. I would, but I can't. Gotta stay put. Keep the team together. I don't want you fuckers straying off either, you understand? Just stay in the pile and keep making everyone uncomfortable with your sappy bullshit. That's an order. We were thinking of taking a nap, actually. You should too, Carp Catfish. It'll be great. Why do you keep insisting on ignoring the simple no sleeping rule? I made it perfectly. You know what? Fine, just take your nap as long as you stay put. Become Kanaya. Answer. You have no interest in talking to this con artist right now. You are busy, and you won't even bother dignifying his text by highlighting it. Maybe a little later. Take orb. You got the Matri orb. Transportalize. Yo, what's up? I'm Aridin, bitch! Examine Matri orb. Gotta help Kanaya with this thing after your business is done here. Hope is your jurisdiction on this meteor after all. I've been meaning to thank you. Oh, I also don't like how they changed Aridin's model. I definitely prefer the old one. For what? For all that training you did. I wouldn't be incredibly holy wizard I am now without your help. But I didn't even really train you. I just made you a wand. Yeah, well, that's all I needed, I guess. I just needed for someone to show a little faith in me. So I'm saying thanks. I owe you. Okay, then you're welcome. I hope you use your magnificent powers of light and hope for goodness and purity. And let's not forget science. Don't worry, I'm all over that shit. You don't even know. Uh-oh, I hope that didn't come off as too sarcastic. What? The thing I just said. I didn't even realize how sarcastic I was being. It's starting to become a problem, I think. Please, don't take too much offense. Damn, Ken, if that's your idea of offense being made, then I honestly gotta fucking worry for you. Tell you what, I'll give you some lessons in dealing out the Dark Umbrage to repay you for your tutelage in the white science. Sure. A little later, maybe. What are you doing anyway? What's that thing there? The Matri orb. I was about to hatch it in the core to restore our race. That sounds hopeful. I hope it's hopeful. You should have told me about this. If there's going to be any sort of hope of our race on the as the Prince of Hope, I demand to be involved. So don't go anywhere without me. Got it? But fine. Man, where have you been? You weren't helping wandering off like, holy shit, is that your new magic wand? It's not magic. We talked about this car. Right, it's powered by science, I forgot. Or hope, whatever the fuck that means. I don't fucking need this from you. I take enough shit as it is from the rest of you dirt scrapers. Thought you and me had a kind of pact or whatever. Okay, fine, shut up, I apologize. I know it's tough being you. Nobody gets it. I had a harder time than anybody with this game. It was really fucking unfair what challenges I got saddled with. I would have fucking murdered for a land full of a lot of harmless brains and fire. But no, I was so lonely. Hey guys, anybody want to come hang out with me in the land of wrath and angels? Anybody at all? I know it isn't anything like one of your flippin' land picnics. Anybody? Please? I'll even settle for the kitty cat shipper cave girl. But yeah, I guess being a server player and saving her life wasn't goddamn enough. Well, also, I don't know. I can only imagine the solicitations you sent her and how fucked up and bizarre they were. Had to be my most humiliating rejection yet. Okay, but to be fair, I'm pretty sure she's still obsessed with me. It's very unfortunate, very red and very unrequited situation I've been trying to tiptoe around for a long time, okay? Her disinterest in your advance wasn't a reflection on you at all. Come on, we've talked about this. Yeah, I guess. Anyway, I don't know how you were expecting to make any sort of traction if you see her as the kitty cat shipper girl. She's a person with feelings, you raving douche. I know, Carr. It's not even the point. I'm over that. Not even the point. I'm over that embarrassment. I'm just saying. Where the fuck were you guys? I had to deal with those awful angels all by myself. Do you have any idea how hard those assholes are to kill? Like at least a minute of sustained fire from only the most legendary weapon ever. And they were fast and angry as shit. Yeah, we talked about that too. I really don't think you were supposed to be killing them, dude. I kept saying, I think they're like game constructs or something. They're to serve some other game purpose, not for you to hunt down. They didn't even give you any grist, you idiot. That was your first clue. Fine, whatever. You're still missing the point. Where was everybody? Where was everybody? Why are they all avoiding me all the time? They were too scared shitless to set foot on your planet for more than a second. Between a trigger-happy prince with a god weapon blasting anything that twitched and a million crazed angel he deliberately enraged, it wasn't what I'd call an ideal social hub. If you were lonely, why didn't you venture out more often? Well, I woulda, but nobody else was volunteering to pick up on the slack on angel-killing duties. Oh my fucking god, why don't you listen? And anyways, I did leave. Eventually. Leaving your planet to go duel with Solix isn't being sociable, you thick fuck! And you know what? You deserve getting your ass handed to you, because I warned you, and you didn't listen. Yeah, okay, we'll see who's become the proud new recipient of whose ass now. Look, just stay here for a while, okay? No more brooding in the lab, and absolutely no fucking dueling. Stay out of trouble. Well, what if we decided not to? No reason to snoop at her computer. You got better things to do. Talk Diffafarian, Solix. Oh god, it's him. FF, can you tell him to go away? I don't have the energy for this. Hey, Finless, this doesn't concern those with mustard sludge slipping through their veins. It's a matter for royalty only. So keep your mouth closed or I'll slit you open over my next meal. Whatever, bro. Not interested. Eridan, please. I don't want to see any more dueling. Don't try to provoke him. It's not like I don't know what you're doing. You keep trying to spark a rivalry with him to get me to aspisticize between you two to pull us out of our quadrant. It's the oldest and lamest trick in the book. It didn't work then, and it won't work now. That's an astonishing accusation. How could you say that? First of all, if this scum is even worthy of a rivalry with me, and second, as if I'm not totally done with you, like I've told you repeatedly. All I want to do is have a word with you. Okay, Eridan, we can talk, but only if you're planning on being civil. That's what you never got, Fef. You and I are being civil by very virtue of the fact that we're talking now. We're royalty, you and I, and we belong together. Even if not in that way, which I get that you're not into, and that's fine. But we belong together, as the ruling class, if nothing else. So I'm gonna ask you this one last time and give you the choice. I'm about to go. Please come with me. Go with you? Eridan, you weren't really serious about going to find Jack, were you? Of course I was. And we should do it together. You got nothing to fear. Now that I've reached the new heights of power no one else can dream of. Not even Mindfang with her garish orange sweatsuit and her silly flappy wings and all her poppycock about luck, which everyone with a think pan knows to be the fakest fiction that ever failed to exist. This is the most hilarious thing I've ever heard. He made one of his 30 fake wands glow a little, and now he thinks he's a fairy god troll or something. LMAO. Was that slander, Was that slander? Just I heard? I can't even tell. I tend to block out noise from filth whose blood is practically the complementary fucking color of mine. He has a point, though, in that you may be overestimating your abilities. Jack Noir is insanely powerful, Eridan. Please! I don't want to see you do anything foolish by trying to fight him. Fight him? Are you fucking nuts? I slaughtered enough angels to know my limits, where I stand against the Lord of all angels they prophesied. Of course I'm not gonna fight him. I stand no chance in hell against that guy. I'm gonna go join him. You're what? And you're gonna join me in joining him too, Fef. Come on, let's go. Okay, that's it. He's lost it. No, I am not! And you aren't either! That is clubbing insane! I thought you were supposed to be the Prince of Hope. How is it hopeful to surrender to a murderous demon like a coward? As the Prince of Hope, I'm uniquely qualified to recognize when all hope is lost. And I'm telling you, there's not even a little bit. Only thing left to do is serve him and hope he spares us. And I'm extending the invitation to come with me, because even though you don't think so, I really do care about you. Serving under Jack together will be unstoppable, and our enemies will tremble before us. What do you say? No, you've lost all right to use fish puns forever. I revoke your fish punning license, as well as our friendship. Don't take that tune of voice with me, princess. What the fuck did I just say? That's it. This makes me sad, Eridan, but now we have to stop you. We can't let you find Jack and risk you leading him to us. So that's how it is then. She's right, man. I can't believe this. I was looking forward to taking a nap or two. I should have killed you on Lobath when I had the chance. Oh well, guess it's only fitting I take you down in round 2. You ready, Prince? Bring it, mage. Oh god, the cape throw. M. Bison style. Strife. What will be the conclusion of this stunning duel? Tune in next time and find out.